On your knees, clean it. The words, sharp as glass, cut through the silence of the 50th floor boardroom. Mark Thompson, a senior vice president with a $10,000 suit and $1 million ego, had just accidentally spilled his entire latte. He wasn't looking at the gleaming marble floor. He was looking at his own $2,200 Italian leather shoe. And then he was looking at Marcus. Marcus, in his simple gray janitorial uniform, just sighed. He was 63 years old, and he'd seen men like Thompson his whole life, men who built their castles on the broken backs of others. "Sir, I have a mop and bucket on my cart for the floor," Marcus began, his voice quiet. Thompson let out a sound that was half laugh, half sneer. "I'm not talking about the floor, old man. I'm talking about this." He thrust his foot forward, the brown splash of coffee mocking the shoe's perfection. "My intern said you people are good at this kind of service. So, serve. Clean my shoe. Or is that too complicated for you?"
They say character is who you are when nobody's watching. But what about who you are when everybody's watching, and you think you're untouchable? This is a story about power, about pride, and about the most expensive mistake one man ever made. The boardroom on the 50th floor of Meridian Capital is a cathedral of wealth. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame Manhattan like a painting. Italian marble floors, polished to a mirror shine, reflect everything. The conference table alone cost more than most people earn in a year. This is where empires are built, where fortunes are made, where power lives. This is Marcus, 63 years old, gray janitorial uniform, clean but worn at the elbows. For the past 3 weeks, he's been the invisible man on these floors, the ghost who empties your trash, wipes your coffee rings, erases the evidence of your existence. His hands are weathered, strong, moving with the practiced ease of someone who's done this work forever. But if you looked closer, if anyone had bothered to look closer, you might have noticed something in his eyes, a quiet intelligence, a patience that doesn't quite match the uniform. It's 6:47 in the morning. Marcus enters the boardroom to begin his routine. Empty the wastebaskets, wipe down the table, polish the marble until it gleams. The sunrise casts long shadows across the floor. It's peaceful, almost sacred. For 7 minutes, Marcus works in silence, and the world is exactly as it should be. Then, he hears it.
The sound of expensive shoes on marble. Italian leather. The kind that announces its price with every step. Click. 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 Each step is a declaration. I belong here. I own this space. I matter. Mark Thompson. Senior Vice President. 42 years old. His suit costs $10,000. His tie could pay someone's rent. His hair has that specific shade of gray at the temples, the kind men pay colorists to achieve because it suggests wisdom without age, power without effort. He's carrying a Venti latte in one hand, his phone in the other. And he doesn't look up. Why would he? To men like Thompson, people like Marcus are part of the furniture. Useful. Forgettable. Beneath notice. You. The word cuts through the silence like a blade. Marcus turns polite, professional. Good morning, sir. I'll be out of your way in just a moment. But Thompson isn't moving. He's standing there staring. Calculating. There's something in his posture, something in the way he's holding his coffee, that makes Marcus's spine straighten. He's been here before. Not in this room. But in this moment, he knows what's coming. How long have you been working here? Thompson asks. It's not really a question. It's a test. Marcus has heard this tone his entire life. About 3 weeks now, sir. Marcus replies, his voice steady. Thompson finally looks up from his phone. A thin smile crosses his face. The kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. 3 weeks. Huh. And they put you up here? On the executive floor? The subtext isn't subtle. It hangs in the air like smoke, thick and suffocating. They put you up here. You. Not someone else. You. Marcus keeps his voice even. Yes, sir. I rotate through all the floors. Company policy. Thompson sets his coffee down on the conference table. Pulls out his tablet. Doesn't sit down. He's making a point of standing, of taking up space, of making Marcus wait. It's a power play, and they both know it. Company policy. Right. Thompson's voice is casual now. Too casual. The way people sound when they're about to say something ugly but want to pretend it's just conversation. You know what's interesting? He continues. We had a janitor up here before. Eduardo. Mexican guy. Worked here 15 years. Never had a single problem. Never missed a spot. Knew his place. Knew his place. The phrase hangs in the air like a noose. Marcus says nothing. What can he say? He's heard these words before, in 100 different variations, in 100 different rooms. The script never really changes. Just the actors. I'll make sure everything meets your standards, sir. Marcus says quietly. Thompson picks up his coffee. Takes a slow sip. His eyes never leave Marcus. It's the look of a man who's enjoying himself. Who's found entertainment in someone else's discomfort. See, that's what I'm talking about, Thompson says. Your standards. Like there's some question about what the standards are. Eduardo understood something. Excellence isn't just about showing up. It's about, what's the word? Presentation. Attitude. Not making people uncomfortable. The racism is a perfume. You can't name the exact scent, but it fills every breath. It's in every word Thompson chooses, every pause, every pointed look. He's not wearing a hood. He's wearing Armani. But the hatred is the same. Just better tailored. Marcus nods. I understand, sir. I'll finish up here and then it happens. Thompson's hand slips. 20 ounces of venti latte, foam, espresso, milk, sugar, cascade through the air. The coffee hits the marble floor with a splash that echoes like thunder in the silent room. It spreads across the polished surface like a dark prophecy, pooling, expanding, ruining the mirror-perfect shine. But Thompson isn't looking at the floor. He's looking at his shoe. His right shoe. His $2,200 Berluti Alessandro Oxford. A single splash of coffee mars the perfect leather. Just one. A brown stain about the size of a quarter. And Thompson stares at it like he's just witnessed a murder. Oh, he whispers. Oh no. The silence that follows is suffocating. The coffee continues spreading across the floor, but time seems to have stopped. Marcus reaches for his cart, already moving into problem-solving mode. Sir, I have cleaning supplies right here. I can get that floor cleaned up and I have leather treatment that should. I'm not talking about the floor. Thompson's voice drops. It's dangerous now. Quiet. The kind of quiet that comes before violence. I'm talking about this. He thrusts his foot forward, displaying the stained shoe like evidence at a trial. The splash of coffee catches the morning light. Do you know what these are? Thompson asks. Berluti. Alessandro Oxfords. $2,200. You probably didn't know that. Why would you? Marcus, still reaching for his cart. Sir, I have leather treatment that should take care of. I'm not asking you to treat it. Thompson interrupts. My intern, the Stanford girl with the ethnic scholarship, she told me something interesting yesterday. She said you people are really good at this kind of service work. Shoes, especially. Said it's like cultural or something. Her grandmother had someone who came to the house every week. Each word is a knife. Carefully placed. Deliberately sharpened. You people. Cultural. Someone who came to the house. The language of subjugation wrapped in casual conversation. Marcus's voice is very quiet now. Sir, I don't think. On your knees. Clean it. The command echoes in the emptied boardroom. For a moment neither man moves. Marcus stands there, cleaning cloth in hand, and 63 years of indignities flash across his face. Every slight. Every insult. Every time someone looked through him instead of at him. Every time he swallowed his pride and did what was necessary to survive. But there's something else in his eyes too. Something calculating. Patient. The look of a man who's played the long game his entire life. Thompson, louder now, enjoying the power. What, is that too complicated? I'll speak slower. Get on your knees and clean my shoe. Or is service only a thing when it comes with a paycheck you actually deserve? The door opens. A young woman freezes in the doorway. Sarah Chin, 29, junior analyst, holding a stack of reports. Her eyes go wide as she registers the scene, Thompson standing triumphant. Marcus, still holding his cleaning cloth. The coffee on the floor. The stain on the shoe. The tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. Mr. Thompson, she says uncertainly. I can come back. No, Sarah. Stay. Thompson doesn't even look at her. His eyes are locked on Marcus. This is a teaching moment, he continues. About standards. About what we expect from people in this building. Sarah looks at Marcus. Marcus looks at the floor. And then slowly, with the terrible dignity of a man who's made this calculation 1,000 times before, Marcus reaches for his cleaning cloth and kneels. The marble is cold and hard against his 63-year-old knees. He's eye level with Thompson's shoe now. Thompson shifts his weight, making Marcus adjust his position. Making him work for it. Making it last. Sarah looks away, her face burning with second-hand shame. She wants to say something. Do something. But she doesn't. She's seen what happens to people who challenge Mark Thompson. Marcus wipes the leather. Methodical. Thorough. Professional. Even in this moment of complete degradation, he does the job right. Because that's who Marcus is. A man who does things right. Thompson, conversational now, speaks to Sarah like. Marcus isn't even there. You know what the problem is with the world today, Sarah? Nobody wants to work anymore. Everyone thinks they deserve a corner office just for showing up. But the truth? Some people are meant to lead. And some people, he looks down at Marcus, are meant to kneel. Marcus finishes. The shoe is spotless. Better than new. He stands slowly, his joints creaking slightly. A reminder that 63-year-old knees weren't made for kneeling on marble floors. His face is unreadable. Blank. Like a door that's been closed and locked. Will there be anything else, sir? He asks. Thompson smirks. No. You can go. Oh, wait. He reaches into his pocket. Pulls out a coin. A single dollar. And then, with the casual cruelty of a man who's never faced consequences in his entire life, he flicks it at Marcus's chest. The coin hits Marcus. Falls to the floor. Bounces once. Twice. The sound, ping, ping, echoes in the massive boardroom forever. For your trouble, Thompson says. Buy yourself something nice. Marcus looks at the coin on the marble floor. Looks at Thompson. Looks at Sarah, who's staring at her shoes. Then he nods once, just once, turns, and pushes his cart toward the door. As he leaves, his reflection appears in the floor-to-ceiling windows. And for just a moment, one single moment, there's something in his eyes. Not anger. Not shame. Something else entirely. Something like certainty. The door closes. Marcus is gone. Thompson is already laughing. turning to Sarah to tell her what just happened, like it's a funny story he'll share at lunch. Just another Tuesday morning. Just another nobody put in their place. But if Thompson had looked closer, if he'd bothered to really see that old janitor's face, he might have noticed something important. A man who's been underestimated his entire life isn't angry when you humiliate him. He's patient. And patience, in the right hands, is the most dangerous weapon of all. Because Mark Thompson had just made a mistake. The kind of mistake you can't take back. The kind of mistake that costs everything. He just didn't know it yet. 30 minutes later, Mark Thompson sits in his corner office, the one with panoramic views of Central Park, and he's still smiling. Still riding the high of what he's just done. His phone is in his hand, and he's scrolling through something. Watching it. Rewatching it. And every time, that smile gets wider. Because Thompson didn't just humiliate Marcus. He recorded it. Of course he did. In 2025, if you don't record your cruelty, did it even happen? The video is 11 seconds long. Shaky footage from Thompson's phone, propped against his coffee cup. You can see Marcus on his knees. See Thompson's shoe. Hear Thompson's voice, crystal clear. Some people are meant to lead, and some people are meant to kneel. Thompson has already sent it to 3 people. No, 4. No, wait, 6. The executive group chat. His golf buddies. His college fraternity thread that's been active for 20 years. Each time he hits send, he adds a caption. Sometimes it's just a laughing emoji. Sometimes it's old school management techniques, with a winking face. Sometimes it's worse. His phone buzzes. A response from Brad in acquisitions. Dude, HR would kill you for this. 3 laughing emojis follow. Thompson types back. HR works for me, bro. And here's the thing, he's not wrong. Mark Thompson has been at Meridian Capital for 18 years. He's untouchable. Or at least, he thinks he is. He's closed deals worth hundreds of millions. He has the CEO's personal cell number. He plays golf with board members. Men like Thompson don't face consequences. They give them. By 10 a.m., Thompson is in a strategy meeting with his team. 8 people around the table. Sarah Chin is there, sitting at the far end, trying to disappear into her chair. She hasn't said a word since the incident this morning. Hasn't made eye contact with anyone. Thompson is mid-presentation, talking about quarterly projections, when he suddenly stops. Looks at Sarah. That smile returns. Sarah, he says, you were there this morning. Tell everyone what you witnessed. About standards. The room goes quiet. Everyone turns to look at her. Sarah's face goes pale. She knows what he's doing. He's making her complicit. Making her part of the story. If she agrees with him, she's safe. If she doesn't. Her voice comes out small. Uncertain. I saw you address a situation with professionalism. Thompson leans back in his chair, satisfied. Exactly. Professionalism. That's what separates us from them. The people who lead and the people who serve. No one says anything. A few people nod. Some look at their laptops. But they all understand the message. This is how power works. This is the game. And if you want to survive in this building, you play along. Thompson continues his presentation like nothing happened. Numbers. Graphs. Growth projections. But every few minutes, his phone buzzes. Another response to the video. Another laughing emoji. Another. Savage, bro. From someone who thinks cruelty is the same thing as strength. At 11:15, the meeting ends. People file out quickly, avoiding eye contact. But Thompson stops Sarah at the door. Hey, he says, his voice friendly now. I want you to know I appreciate your honesty back there. About the professionalism thing. That's the kind of team player attitude that gets noticed around here. Sarah nods. She wants to leave. Wants to run. But she stays. Thompson leans closer. Between you and me? That old guy needed to be reminded where he stands. These people, they come in here thinking diversity hiring means they're equal. Someone has to maintain standards. You understand that, right? Sarah understands perfectly. She understands that Mark Thompson is a monster. She understands that she should report this to HR, to the CEO, to someone. She understands that she won't. Because she's 29 years old with student loans and a sick mother, and a job market that's brutal. So she nods. And she hates herself for it. I understand, Mr. Thompson. Good, he says, and pats her shoulder like she's a dog who just learned a trick. You're going places, Sarah. As long as you remember who your friends are. At 11:47, Thompson is at the elevator bay, heading to lunch. His phone rings. It's his wife. He ignores it. It's always some complaint about the house or the kids or something he's supposed to care about. He's about to step into the elevator when he sees someone. Marcus. Still in his gray uniform. Still pushing his cart. Coming down the hallway. And Thompson? Thompson can't help himself. The cruelty isn't done. It's never done with men like him. He waits for Marcus to get closer. Watches him approach. And when Marcus is about 10 feet away, Thompson reaches into his pocket. Pulls out another dollar coin. Holds it up where Marcus can see it. Hey! He calls out. Thought about you at coffee. Realized I might have undertipped. He flicks the coin. It bounces off Marcus's cart with a sharp clang and rolls across the marble floor. That's for being such a good sport this morning. Marcus stops. Looks at the coin on the floor. Looks at Thompson. And for just a moment, one brief, flickering moment, Thompson sees something in the old man's eyes that makes him uncomfortable. Not anger. Not fear. Something else. Something that looks almost like pity. But then it's gone. Marcus nods politely. Thank you, sir. And he keeps walking, pushing his cart, leaving the coin on the floor. Thompson steps into the elevator, laughing to himself. Shaking his head. Some people just don't know when they've been beaten. As the elevator doors close, he pulls out his phone one more time. Opens the video again. Watches himself humiliate Marcus. And he thinks, this is the best day I've had all month. Mark Thompson has no idea, absolutely no idea, that in exactly 8 minutes, his entire world is about to detonate. That the old man he just humiliated for the second time today is about to walk back into his life. That the dollar coins he flicks so carelessly will be returned with interest. Because the thing about karma? It doesn't come when you expect it. It comes when you've forgotten to look over your shoulder. When you think you've won. When you're still smiling. 11:55. Thompson is back in the conference room with his team, riding high. He's in the middle of explaining a hostile takeover strategy, using words like aggressive, and domination, and crushing the competition. He loves this part of his job. The conquest. The power plays. The art of destroying someone before they even see you coming. His phone buzzes again. Another response to the video. He glances at it, smirks, and continues talking. Then the door opens. Not a knock. Not a polite entrance. The door simply swings open, and the temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. Gerald Whitmore. Chairman of the board. 71 years old, silver hair, custom suit that makes Thompson's look cheap. He's flanked by 2 people, his executive assistant and the head of legal. And his face? His face is granite. Mr. Thompson, Whitmore says. Not Mark. Not Thompson. Mr. Thompson. The formality is a weapon. Thompson stands immediately, smile plastered on. Mr. Whitmore, we weren't expecting. No, Whitmore interrupts. You weren't. Everyone else out. Now. The room evacuates in 15 seconds flat. Sarah practically runs for the door. Papers are grabbed. Laptops clutched to chests. No one makes eye contact with Thompson. They know that look on Whitmore's face. Someone is about to be executed. The door closes. Thompson is alone with the chairman and his entourage. His smile is still there, but it's starting to crack around the edges. Sir, if this is about the Henderson account, I can explain. Sit down, Whitmore says. Thompson sits. Whitmore doesn't sit. He stands at the head of the table, looking down at Thompson like a judge at sentencing. The silence stretches for 10 seconds. 20. 30. It's torture. Finally, Whitmore speaks. We have a situation. As of 9 a.m. this morning, Meridian Capital underwent a change in ownership structure. A majority shareholder position was acquired through a private transaction that closed over the weekend. Thompson's brain scrambles. I wasn't informed of any acquisition talks. No, Whitmore says flatly. You weren't. The new majority shareholder requested discretion. He also requested something else. He wanted to tour the facility incognito. To see how we operate when we think no one important is watching. And there it is. The first crack in Thompson's armor. His smile disappears completely. His mind is racing now, replaying the morning. The janitor. The coffee. The shoe. The video on his phone. The second coin. Oh God, the second coin. I'd like you to meet him, Whitmore says, walking to the door. The door opens. And Marcus walks in. Except it's not Marcus. Not the Marcus that Thompson humiliated twice in 6 hours. This man is wearing a navy blue 3-piece suit, Tom Ford, perfectly tailored. His shoes are polished to a mirror shine. His tie is silk. There's a platinum watch on his wrist that costs more than Thompson's car. His salt and pepper hair is trimmed and styled. And his eyes, those same eyes that looked at Thompson with quiet patience this morning, are now sharp as razors. Thompson's mouth opens. No sound comes out. Whitmore gestures to Marcus with something that looks like reverence. Mr. Thompson, allow me to introduce Mr. Marcus Blackwell. As of this morning, Mr. Blackwell owns 52% of Meridian Capital. He is our majority shareholder. He is, effectively, your boss's boss's boss. The words hang in the air like a death sentence. Marcus steps forward. Extends his hand. We've met, he says quietly. Thompson stares at the hand like it might bite him. His brain is short-circuiting. This can't be real. This is the janitor. The old man on his knees. The guy he flicked dollar coins at like he was tipping a street performer. Except he's not a janitor. He never was. Marcus lowers his hand when Thompson doesn't shake it. You seem surprised, Mr. Thompson. Don't be. I've been doing due diligence on this company for 6 months. Your name came up in several reports. Always interesting reading. Thompson finally finds his voice. I don't understand. Which part? Marcus asks. The part where I bought the company? Or the part where you asked me to shine your shoes? Whitmore shifts uncomfortably. He clearly knows what happened. Everyone's going to know what happened. Thompson can see his entire career evaporating in real time. Mr. Blackwell requested complete discretion during his evaluation period. Whitmore explains, his voice cold. He wanted to see Meridian's culture firsthand. How we treat people. How we conduct ourselves. What our values really are, not just what we claim in press releases. Marcus walks slowly around the conference table. His fingers trail along the surface, the same table where Thompson stood this morning, triumphant and cruel. This is a beautiful room, Marcus says. Impressive views. That marble floor must be expensive to maintain. Of course, you know all about maintaining marble floors, wouldn't you, Mr. Thompson? Thompson's face has gone from pale to gray. His hands are shaking. He's trying to form words, trying to find some angle, some explanation, some way to spin this. But there's nothing. No corporate jargon. No smooth talk. No charm. Just the crushing weight of consequences he never thought he'd face. Marcus reaches into his pocket. Thompson actually flinches. But Marcus doesn't pull out a weapon. He pulls out a phone. His phone. This morning at 6:54 a.m., Marcus says, you asked me to clean your shoe. You used some interesting language. Something about people knowing their place. About service being cultural. You remember that conversation? Thompson's silence is answer enough. I recorded it, Marcus says simply. Audio only. I've been recording everything for 3 weeks. Every conversation. Every interaction. Every moment when people thought I was just part of the furniture. He taps his phone. A voice fills the room. Thompson's voice. Crystal clear. Undeniable. You people are really good at this kind of service work, said it's like cultural or something. Get on your knees. Marcus stops the playback. I have 19 hours of recordings, Mr. Thompson. Conversations in elevators. Meetings where people thought I couldn't hear. Comments about the diversity hires and the quota people. Your name appears in approximately 40% of those recordings. Thompson tries to speak. Mr. Blackwell, this morning was a misunderstanding. I didn't know. You didn't know I was rich. Marcus interrupts. That's your defense? That you would have treated me with basic human dignity if you'd known I could afford a better suit? The question hangs in the air, unanswerable. Marcus turns to Whitmore. Gerald, I've made my decision. Mr. Thompson's employment is terminated effective immediately. Severance package as outlined in his contract, nothing more. Security will escort him from the building within the hour. Thompson lurches to his feet. You can't, I've been here 18 years. I've closed deals worth millions, Marcus finishes. Yes. I've reviewed your performance records. Impressive numbers. Built on a foundation of cruelty, discrimination, and systematic abuse. But impressive nonetheless. He reaches into his pocket again. Thompson watches, terrified of what's coming next. Marcus pulls out $2 coins. Places them on the conference table. The sound, clink clink, echoes in the massive room. For your trouble, Marcus says softly. Buy yourself something nice. The callback is perfect. Devastating. Thompson stares at those 2 coins like they're grenades. His career. His reputation. His entire identity. Gone. Destroyed by the man he humiliated. The man he made kneel. Whitmore nods to his assistant. Have security meet us here. Thompson's voice cracks. Please. I have a family. A mortgage. I'll apologize. Publicly. Whatever you want. Marcus looks at him for a long moment. And there's no anger in his eyes. No satisfaction. Just a deep, profound sadness. Mr. Thompson, he says quietly. I don't want an apology. I want you to understand something. Every person you've ever dismissed, every worker you've humiliated, every human being you've treated as less than, they all matter. They all have dignity. They all deserve respect. Not because of what they own or what they're worth, but because they're human. He picks up one of the dollar coins. Looks at it. You flicked this at me like I was a dog. Like I was nothing. And the sad part? I wasn't the first. And if I hadn't stopped you, I wouldn't have been the last. 2 security guards enter. Thompson looks at them, then at Marcus, then at Whitmore. Looking for mercy. For a second chance. For anything. He finds nothing. Gentlemen, Whitmore says, please escort Mr. Thompson to his office to collect his personal belongings. He has 30 minutes. As the guards approach, Thompson's legs nearly give out. 18 years. Gone in 11 minutes. He's led toward the door, and just as he reaches it, he turns back. One last desperate attempt. I'm sorry, he whispers. Marcus nods. I know you are. You're sorry you got caught. The door closes. Thompson is gone. And Marcus stands there in his Tom Ford suit, in the boardroom where he was humiliated just 5 hours ago, and he doesn't smile. Doesn't celebrate. He just looks tired. Because this isn't about revenge. It never was. It's about something bigger. Something that's been broken in this building, in every building like it, for far too long.
The silence in the boardroom, after the door clicks shut on Thompson's life, is heavier than the marble table. Gerald Whitmore lets out a breath he seems to have been holding since 9 a.m. The head of legal is already looking at her tablet, her face grim. Marcus stands by the window, looking down at the city. Not in triumph, not in anger, but with the profound weariness of a surgeon who has just excised a massive tumor, knowing there's still poison in the bloodstream. Gerald, Marcus says, his voice quiet but carrying across the room. The sickness wasn't just him. He was a symptom. He was untouchable because the system made him untouchable. He turns from the window. That video he took? Whitmore nods, his face pale. We are aware. He sent it to 6 people on the executive team, the group chat, his golf buddies. I want every single response. I want every laughing emoji, every savage bro, every single person who co-signed that cruelty. Legal, I want a full audit of that entire chat thread, cross-referenced with every HR complaint filed against those individuals for the last 5 years. The head of legal just nods. It's already in motion, Mr. Blackwell. Good, Marcus says. He looks at Whitmore. Clear this room and send an email to this entire floor. All hands meeting. In here. 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, the room is full. Not with laughter or casual chatter, but with the terrified, electric silence of a herd that just watched a lion take down its leader. They saw Thompson, a man they considered a god, escorted out by security, carrying a small cardboard box. Marcus stands at the head of the table, where Thompson stood just hours before. Whitmore introduces him, the new majority shareholder. The name Blackwell ripples through the room, followed by hushed whispers. Marcus looks at the faces. Fear, confusion, guilt. My name is Marcus Blackwell. For the past 3 weeks, I have been your janitor. A collective gasp. I've been in your offices. I've emptied your trash. I've listened. I listened to Mark Thompson tell me I knew my place and that some people are meant to kneel. And some of you listened too. His eyes scan the crowd. They land on Sarah Chen. She's in the back, trying to be invisible. Miss Chen, Marcus calls out, please, come to the front. It's a walk of shame. She thinks she's next. Her face is white with terror. She stands before him, trembling. Marcus looks at her, his voice not unkind. This morning, in this room, Mr. Thompson put you on the spot. Sarah flinches. He asked you to validate his cruelty. And you said, I saw you address a situation with professionalism. Do you remember that? She nods, tears welling. Yes, sir. It was a lie, Marcus says simply. The room holds its breath. It was a lie of survival. It was a lie you told because you believed you had to. Because the culture in this building, the system that he built, taught you that your integrity was less valuable than his ego. That lie is the last lie you will ever have to tell in this company. He looks at the rest of the room. The good old boys network is dissolved
effective immediately.
6 months later, the 50th floor is unrecognizable. The audit that followed the all-hands meeting was, as one employee later described it, a corporate chemotherapy. The executive group chat and Thompson's fraternity thread led to the termination of 3 other senior managers and the forced retirement of 2 VPs who co-signed the culture of abuse. Marcus Thompson's entire 18-year legacy was dismantled in a single quarter. And Sarah Chan? She is no longer a junior analyst. She is no longer trying to disappear into her chair. Today, Sarah Chen is the Senior Vice President of Acquisitions. She sits at the head of the table, her table. Her first executive act was to fly to Arizona and personally rehire Eduardo, the janitor Thompson had so cruelly dismissed. Eduardo now runs the entire building's maintenance division, with a 6-figure salary and a team that respects him. Meridian Capital is different. The stock is up, but more importantly, the atmosphere has changed. The company's new motto is etched into the glass of the boardroom. Dignity is non-negotiable. And for the first time, it's true. The company is more diverse, more innovative, and more profitable than it has ever been. And Marcus Blackwell? He is there. He still walks the halls, but on the last Friday of every month, he doesn't wear the Tom Ford suit. He arrives at 6 a.m., and he wears a simple gray janitorial uniform. He's not undercover. Everyone knows who he is. The sight of the majority shareholder emptying a wastebasket has a profound effect on the new class of VPs. A young intern, new to the company, sees him wiping down the conference table and stops, confused. Mr. Blackwell, why? Marcus pauses, looks up from his work, and gives the young man a small, quiet smile. This suit, he says, gesturing to his locker, is my armor. But this uniform, this is my memory. It reminds me that character isn't how you treat the people above you. It's how you treat the people you think are beneath you. He finishes wiping the table, the marble gleaming. Marcus Thompson was right about one thing, Marcus says, turning to the intern. Some people are meant to lead, and some people are meant to kneel. He just never understood that the greatest leaders are the ones who remember how.